Greetings, everybody. Good afternoon. How are you? And good morning to some people. My name is Dr. Caroline. I haven't been here or on here for a while due to some commitments, but I am here now. I've been asked by a few people to unpack a psychological perspective in regards to our new conservative leader, MP Kemi. There's been quite a few statements and sentiments that she's put over to the public in regards to how her culture system, political system deals with things, and in regards to what she thinks about slavery compensation. So, as we know, this is a new MP, conservative leader of the Conservative Party. She is from the background of Nigeria. She comes from Nigeria originally. They've reported that she is married to a white European man, and so well, married or a partner, not quite sure. But the statements that I've had her make are not conducive to her work environment. So, being the fact that I've written two books about identity. My first book was on challenges of identity from a psychological perspective. My second book is about digital identity, a social and a business perspective. So I'm going to talk about from the perspective of my two books in regards to how she is handling herself in a cultural identity perspective and in a perspective of self identity. First and foremost, Madame Kemi, she, as I wrote in my first book, Challenges of Identity, a Psychological Perspective, it is on Amazon. It's a 5-star book. In one chapter, I wrote about how cultural identity can, if you're born in different, if you're raised in different cultures, and if you're born in another culture, it can be quite confusing. It will be like a double identity. For example, I give an example of myself. As I was raised in Uganda, I came to UK when I was quite young, and so all my whole life I've spent in the United Kingdom. But when I do go back to Africa, I am still seen as a British woman from British heritage. No, not British heritage, from British culture, because culturally, Ugandan women behave differently than the British Ugandan women that are raised in UK. So, but having said that, when you come to United Kingdom, when you come back, you are still seen as an African woman, although you are nationalized as British. So your identity and your nationalization does not exclude that you're still African. Where Kemi has a double consciousness in her mind. I believe that the MP leader, with her belief of marrying an English European man, she's now seeing herself as one of them, because she goes on to say that Africans do not, African and Afro-Caribbean people do not deserve compensation for what they went through, the trauma, the slavery trauma that they went through, the things that they've stolen from their countries. She then reports that we, British people, have paid enough for these people, and so she says it as a by the way. Not knowing that she's, no matter what you are or who you lay down with, even if you lay down with an African man, you lay down with a white man, an African British man, you lay down with an English white man, you are still African. Your heritage is what makes you. So when Sunak came into parliament, there's no way he would disregard his culture like that, or talk about his culture like that, or his political culture system like that. He always brought his people closer, the Indian, the Asian culture, and he always expressed, actually, when he was the leader, the prime minister, about how great his culture is. He showed us how they do the cow festival and all that. But I am wondering how, or whether the influence of Madame MP Kemi, party leader, is being influenced by her partner, her husband. if you as a person, as a woman, you do not have your own cultural identity or your own self identity, it is very easy for you to be influenced by those people that you believe that have power over who you are or over your values. So if your values are not instilled in you to a certain level, you will then be easily persuaded or influenced by another individual. I believe this is what's happening to MP Kemi, and I believe in the business environment, I don't believe that she knows how to separate her own culture to business. You know, we all have different identity depending on what environmental surroundings we're in. When you're at work, your identity should be of a professional identity, and also you can express yourself in the way you feel, but it has to be conducive to being compassionate to what you are saying, your sentiments towards especially your own culture and other people's culture. And this is an MP who should know very much about diversity. It is assumed, but unfortunately, it seems like she doesn't know that about diversity. It seems like this MP Kemi is still holding a lot of culture traumas that believes has happened in Nigeria politically with the political system. Me personally, I do know that yes, African systems have a lot of development to do and a lot of work to work on, but the way that MP Kemi is expressing herself, it shows self-hatred. Self-hatred. I cannot, in a way, as much as I've been in Britain, even same time amount of long time from when I was younger, similar to her, and so very, very so much that I do not believe that I should in any way disregard my African culture and speak about my African culture in that regard. So, when in the business environment, I believe that she needs to be mentored or somehow spoken to on how to address culture factors and culture matters when you're talking in a business environment. And her self-belief and how she identify herself does not account to every African people or every Caribbean people. No, because this is something that has been going on for years, the compensation of the slavery trauma that we all went through. And then you cannot turn around as a leader and tell people that the British have done enough when some of these things happen before you even was born. So that to me, it shows an incompetency of learning about culture trauma and diversity and post trauma, slavery trauma. She is still going through self-denial of identity and culture. So in that regard, everybody who's been asking me what's up with this woman, how dare she come up and start speaking about Africa like that and start speaking about her own actual culture, which is Nigeria, like that. Unfortunately, MP Kemi is going through a cultural trauma, identity crisis, and a psychosis of identity loss. So it could be influenced by her partner that she married, because the people we marry can have a big influence on our lives. If we don't have our own identity, it seems to me that she doesn't have her own identity. So with that regard, yes, let's have compassion for her, and let's hope that she continues to learn as she leads this party and put her African heritage and her cultural identity with some respect on it. So signing out, Dr. Caroline, and have a great evening and take care for now. Bye for now.